Okay, I've selected the paper I want to replace the tags. Notice that it's got like these stars on it and all that. I don't really want that to show up, so I just have to make sure when I cover my tag and I clip it to this that I don't have the stars showing. And in fact, I could even just crop this right now. Obviously these are really small, so maybe I'm just going to crop it to something like 2 by 3 inches. At the top I'm changing the width and the height. Maybe I better go 3 by 3, and then resolution 300. I still want it to be a high resolution. 300 is the basic, and so I'm just going to crop a section of it that I might like to use. There it is. Back to my moving tool, the little arrow here. I'm going to select it and drag it into my new file. Now, one thing I didn't do is select my tab, so I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this right now. I just hit the delete button. I'm going to select my tab first. You can see here it's selected. And now I'm going to drag it because I want it to be easy to clip it. So Control Alt G, and now it's going to go right over it. And as you can see, it's not really defined. It kind of blends into the background here. So I'm going to change that up just a second here. Sorry about that. Let's keep going. So here you can see that my tag doesn't have a lot of definition from this paper behind it, and I want to change that. Notice when I click on it, because I've got the auto select layer, it's going to select the big layer above it. I want to select the smaller masked layer behind it, so I'm going to go over here to the layer palette and select the tab that's right underneath it. You can see it's going to select that. I want a little bit of a drop shadow behind it so I can see what's going on. So I'm going to choose this cursive FX, and I'm going to choose drop shadow. And then I'm going to check out what it's doing here. Not really loving that real quick. Let's see if I can make it a little bit different. That's not doing what I want. Maybe we should try an inner shadow. Sometimes that helps a bit too. Not so much. Okay, I'm gonna have to try something else here. Let me check the layer here. It's got a bit of something on it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now, and then I'll come back and do a drop shadow on it. This one kind of already has a drop shadow. Now I want this same big piece of paper to cover that one as well. And this one here is tab 2. You can see it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this paper that I have masked and go to new. I'm just going to drag it to this new box, and it's going to make me a copy of it. Notice it's right on top. And then I'm going to drag it on top of tab 2, so you can see it's on top of that, and mask it again. So I don't have to drag it again from the original file, and then I'm just going to do the same and drag it on top of tag 3, which I'm then going to have to mask, and keep going. Looks like I've got 2 more tags, so I'm just going to do that real quick. Gotta move it above tag 4, and then Control Alt G, and one more time, this time above tag 5. Move that down and Control Alt G. Okay, so there I've got all my tags are in brown, and now what I'm going to need to do is put some, I think I want to put some text on it as well, so I'm going to have to do that. I just have to make sure that when I type it, it's above this layer so it'll show up. So I'm going to hit text, and then I'm just going to kind of do it off to the side here. I don't know what I'm going to write yet. Yum, maybe, or yummy. Let's try that. Again, I'm going to change the color on it so it matches this A. Or I might want it white. I'll have to see in a minute. It obviously needs to be smaller depending on where I'm going to put it. I'm going to have to move it to the top here. So I'm going to drag that layer up higher. Yummy. Right now it's at 30 point. I'm going to change it maybe to 18. See what that does. That looks pretty good, and I'm okay with it coming off the tag. Again, I'm going to get rid of that box because it's annoying. Maybe change it to white. See what that does. Not so much. Maybe the black's okay. And then maybe I want to change the font, and this is where I can kind of play with it and see what I want. Maybe I want to keep it the same. I can use some bolder ones. I can let it kind of run off like this. maybe I do want to change the color to something brighter. Maybe I want this red right here or something darker like the red on his cap, so I can match it and then make it darker or whatever I want to do. So you can play with that. I'm going to zoom out real quick just so I can kind of see what it's looking like. Also, it's a good idea to hit Control S often to save this. I'm also going to zoom in a bit. So this is kind of what it's looking like. I'm going to finish it up and post it. You can see the sample for it. So if you have any questions with that, let me know or post it in the comments. That's kind of the general idea of how to use a template. You can always add your own things, but that's how I would use the template to kind of get started. Alright, see you later.